send these, they're not real great pictures, but like I said, I took them off that, it was on Google today, and something other than coffee.
Mhm.
You feeling any better? So.
Never mind, we'll just talk afterwards.
A minute. Okay, let's do the pledge first. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, call the meeting to order and have a roll call, please.
Trustee McMahon? Here. Trustee Acewell?
Here.
President Bay?
Here.
Trustee G?
Here.
Trustee Wolford?
Here.
Trustee Pennell?
Here.
And Doug Henry?
Okay, we have a quorum, so before we get started, I have a couple of announcements. Most of you on the board know that Elizabeth Lopez has resigned her position as trustee. That's her privilege to do so, so we have an open seat, and we'll be glad to listen to somebody who wants to come in and work with the village and move us forward. If anybody's willing, come and talk to us. Contact Crystal at Village Hall, and we'll get together, okay? Another item is we had our Christmas party Friday night, and it was a success. We had a lot of people show up, and you know, it was our thank you for helping the village run as it does all year long, okay? And next, I would like to ask Kim if you got an update on your Christmas house.
Yeah, so what I wanted to do is, this was kind of quick this year, but the original plan was, I wanted people to sign up for the contest. And then I wanted everybody in the village to be able to vote on who they thought was first, second, third place. This thrown together so quick, I just went around, I seen who decorated, and I did pick 3 people. But going forward, that's not how I want to do this. I want the people involved, I want the people to pick. It is their choice, you know, not mine. So, that being said, there are quite a few houses that did a good job. I did pick for first place 105 Morning Sun. They did a phenomenal job. They have a lot of lights out
I
there.
know which house that is, yeah.
It's in the new subdivision.
Yep, out in the
Right.
subdivision there. Second place, I believe I have the address correct, it's 115 West North Street. It's the big red brick house next to the church.
Yes, that one's really pretty. I like that. I saw
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah, they did very well. And then third place, I went with 315 West Grove. The people that know, that'd be Tom Jones's old house. They have a lot of the older, like, decorations and stuff out there, so they did
Okay.
a really good job there.
Right around.
Okay, so do you want us to award that based on that? Or do you want to wait a little longer, or what?
Well, we can award it based on that, because, I mean, that's what we said we would have,
Okay,
you know,
all right.
winner. But like I said, going forward, I want a sign-up sheet by a certain date. I want the people to vote, not us picking.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that works. So if anybody has an objection, we'll do it that way this year, okay? All right, all right.
But the one house was really pretty. I know.
Okay, moving on, can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion.
Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thanks. Motion to approve the minutes, these are from the business meeting on November 25th.
I'll make a motion.
Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Public comments? Any public comments?
You gotta do the bills first.
Oh, I'm sorry, gotta do the bills first, okay. Let's go over the bills. All right, we've got sewer testing for 146, water testing 100, Vortex Technologies calibration of our flow meters 850, O'Reilly Auto Parts 6724 and 1299, Johnson Tractor 173.65, Gale Romine for electrical inspection 190, Craig Wilcox for building inspection 920, Surf Internet 167.74, Harvard Ford maintenance on our F550 423.10, Nicor 6063, 20603, 5783, and then ComEd 1486.27, 169.36, 1759, 1390.10, and 73.48. Then Ace Hardware 1896 and 66.55. Hawkins for Chemicals 316.12. USA Blue Book 1767.90. 282 and 147.25, and Menards 299. The total is 11,151.20, of which 4105.16 will come out of the general fund and 7046.04 will come out of water and sewer. Any questions or comments? Can I have a motion to approve the bills?
I just have a quick question. Why do we have no attorney fees in this one?
Because he didn't charge us any.
Okay, I was just curious, because usually we have a lot of.
I mean, I can
There was
pay him
one
some
make
if
it
you
into
want me
the-
to.
Okay, okay,
he
no, I was
didn't
just
charge us
curious.
that. Okay.
Sorry, I'm just curious.
There was a bill for him at the beginning of the
I'll
month.
make a motion to pass them.
Okay, can I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Lacewell?
Aye.
President Bang?
Aye.
Trustee G?
Aye.
Trustee Wilcox?
Aye.
Trustee Cannell?
Aye.
Trustee McMahon?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes, thank you. Now, public comments? None, okay. Moving on, let's talk about the 2021 building codes. As long as I have Craig and Gina here, it's ahead of what I actually have them here for, but if anybody's got any questions or anything about why we should adopt the 2021 building codes, I've got the two people here that can answer those questions better than anybody, so does anybody have any questions or a discussion on the matter? Okay, so in order to do this, we're going to have an ordinance written to adopt the 2021 building codes. So what I would like is a motion to have a ordinance written to adopt the 2021 building codes.
Okay, motion.
Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, so we're going to do that.
So there are gonna be some amendments that have to be in there because there's sprinkler systems that have to be amended out, so we're not forcing those upon the new
Okay,
residents.
so as you guys amend them, we'll
Yeah.
amend them.
Yeah.
I want to be in,
I'm going through those right now.
okay. Yeah, the idea is to be homogeneous through the area so that Winnebago and Rockford and Boone and.
Yeah, and they've all deleted those sprinkler systems out.
Okay.
So we're gonna follow the same.
Okay, all right.
So
So-
this is just from 2021, so then they're gonna do another one again from there up to date, or?
No, what the amendments are, in the code, it tells you gotta have sprinkler systems in residentials, right?
Right, mhm.
Or single and
Right.
multifamily, one and two family. What the amendments do, it'll delete some of that stuff out. Some stuff, it'll add on to, so it'll make it a little stronger. But most of it is gonna be getting rid of sprinklers. That's the main one.
Getting rid of other stuff, okay. All right,
For
thank you.
residential,
Okay, for residential,
yeah. No matter what square footage.
okay.
Even multifamily?
Nope, that's
You're gonna keep multifamily in there?
Yeah.
Yes.
So Craig, you'll keep me up to date on the amendments and
Yes.
we will
Oh, yeah.
adopt them as you do.
Yep.
Okay.
And when they come here, I'll bring them and work our way through those.
Okay, all
That'll-
right,
I don't know how long that meeting is gonna take, but
okay. All right, we'll do
right
it.
now, I looked at some of our code adoptions under building code, and people get these confused, building codes versus residential codes. Building code is, and a lot of people encompass that as the residential, the building for commercial. mechanicals, I mean, each one of those will have to be adopted. And all be
Okay.
worked out.
I'll make sure we go with Tom Green to get the wordage correct on it.
Yeah, I think his job's gonna be pretty easy, because
Yeah.
I'm doing most of it
Yeah.
right now. So
Okay.
it'll be a lot cheaper.
Okay, all right, thanks.
He's just gotta give the blessing to verify everything is i's are dotted and t's are crossed.
Okay. All right, thanks a lot. Okay, next is raffles. We have an ordinance in front of us to allow multiple raffles within a year, no more than 12 per year. I also want to let you know that in the code, as it currently is written, all fees are waived on nonprofits for raffles. There's an actual paragraph in the code that says that, so we don't have to waive anything, it's an automatic. So basically, what this ordinance is doing is it's allowing, instead of having to get a permit for each raffle, they can have up to 12 raffles on one permit within a 1-year period, okay? And that way, we don't have to hassle anymore, okay? Can I have a motion to approve this ordinance?
Wait a
By the way, I
minute.
need a number.
So
25-.
it's 12 raffles a year,
Yeah,
but you can only have one per month?
right,
What if like somebody wants to have two for the month?
that's what this says.
What if they want to have two for the month? You can have that count towards their 12.
Well, this is written for up to 12, it says no more than one per month for up to 12 months, period.
But again, what if, let's say the bar or something wants to have 2 events in 1
Or
month?
can't have any.
Or what, you know,
Yeah.
somebody wants to have 2 events in 1 month. Why can't they have 2 in a month, but no, don't exceed their 12 for the year?
So what do you want this to say, as many as they want?
Not to exceed 12 in a year.
Just not to exceed 12 in a year.
12 in a year? Okay. All right, let's take this section out then, we'll just take it out, just say up to 12 months. Okay? So they can have more than 12 raffles in 12 months. They
No,
can
they
have-
only have up to 12
Up to
raffles
12.
in the whole year.
Right.
But they could do all, like, within 2 or 3 months, they could have like 3 or 4
Right.
a
All right,
month.
so,
So like
okay,
if the pup pantry doesn't do one in say March or April, and then come Christmas time, they wanna do 3,
all right,
they'd
Could.
still be within
Absolutely.
we'll
that.
get Tom
Yeah.
to take this out, and we'll just leave it for up to 12,
'Cause that-
12
point for that
per,
one.
per year.
Per year.
Okay, all right,
Yes.
we'll fix that, okay?
Steve?
And then the application goes along with it. The only thing we did on here is, you know, cite the code so that everybody knows it's gotta be nonprofit, religious, charitable, that sort of thing,
The
okay?
attorney wants to
Steve,
talk.
The attorney want hit something you want
Yes.
to say.
Yeah, so what you'll need to do if you want to adopt it tonight is make a motion to amend this ordinance.
I'll make a
Okay?
motion that.
Oh, okay,
to
even though we
amend
haven't passed it yet?
Yeah, before you pass it, you
You have to
want
amend
to
it.
pass it tonight, okay?
We're not.
You'll have to.
Or not, because we're gonna check, we want it changed. We
I
want-
can wait till it gets fixed to
Oh,
amendment,
that's
that's what I was
fine.
gonna do.
Okay.
All right. So we'll get it fixed and then we'll pass it, okay? So I think we should do the same thing with the application because it's all resting on the ordinance, so
Okay,
we'll just pass on that, okay?
sounds good.
All right, now, for what I'm really here for tonight, I asked Gina and Craig to show up to go over the condition of the building and what constitutes, what you have to do to go through to get to be a preservation committee and what the requirements and rules and regulations are and everything else. And I want everybody to get all the facts before we make any decisions on anything, all right? So with that, this is the way I want this to work. I want Craig to make his presentation, then I want Gina to make her presentation. I don't want anybody asking any questions or raising their hands until they're all done. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go board member by board member around the table and ask if they have any questions. And if there's any, after that, if there's anybody in the audience that has any questions, then I will recognize you for a question. So with that, Craig and I went over this, we went through the building, we did a tour of the building about a week ago, or a week and a half ago. And I just asked him to take a look at it and look at the pictures and give us an assessment of what's the matter with that building, what it's gonna take to fix it, et cetera, so that everybody has their facts, okay? So Craig, I'm giving you the floor.
So in your packets, we'll go, I think mine's probably set up like yours, I'm hoping.
You should then vote together.
So the first one there is down in the basement. You can see the cracks in the foundation. And I'm not sure, this is just kind of hodgepodge brickwork around, and I don't know what pipes those are. They look like old soil pipes. I don't know what those old pipes are. Second one is pretty much identical. A little different angle, I guess. This next one, where is that one from?
That's upside down, okay? That's it, out in that door to the outer wall of the south side of the building.
So it goes this way?
Yeah, it goes that way,
So that's just a crack on the wall?
yeah.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, so the cracks in the wall are because the foundation's moved, okay? And we'll make light of that further into here. But it's just to spotlight a lot of the foundation issues. The next one, all right, so again, you got cracks in your foundation, cracks in your brickwork that's showing and proving that your foundation is moving. Wood will kind of, you know, it'll flex a lot more before it shows you anything. Brickwork doesn't flex, so it'll show you what's moving. So this one is a very important one to look at. So you see the lighter mortar, that's been fixed once. When? I have no idea, okay? But what I'm getting at is, it's still moving. That thing's moved twice as much as what it did the first time, okay? So, and this is in the, I'm gonna call it the southwest corner of the building. And this isn't just a little piece of the building coming off. It's quite a few feet of building. And you guys are all open to, I talked to President Bank, that's an open door over there. You know, just get a hold of him, get in there, take a look at it. You know, this isn't my decision. You know, I come from Capron. I mean, that thing, to me, it lost its historical meaning when they took the tower down. But this next one is the same thing. Is that one upside down too, Steve?
Yeah, that's upside down too.
Okay, that's what I thought it was. So that one actually shows you a little better, lighter mortar, and then, of course, the dark area is what it's moved. And again, this could be in 20 years, I don't know when that was mortared in. So,
And this one's upside down also, but it's just a condition, so.
oh, yeah, this is just the,
It just shows you all the mortar that's missing.
yeah, it needs tuck pointing in them,
Yeah.
in those areas. Yeah, so again,
Yeah.
this one here, this one's a little tougher to see, but in the corner, it matches the building, and then it actually got pushed in. I assume that got pushed in, because the brickwork still makes a 90 in here, in this area, but the gap gets larger and larger as you go down on that wall. So the wall's lost its integrity there. And this is just more erosion. Just, I don't know, water got in here. It'll freeze, thaw, and it just works away at the brickwork. I don't believe there was any, I don't remember, foundation-wise in this area, I don't think there was any major stuff here. It was more just cosmetic on the outside where the brickwork was. This again is in the basement. If you look back in that corner, that's those same pipes I was talking about in the beginning. I have no clue, probably, I don't know what that piping it is. But you can see all the deteriorated foundation work that piles up there. That's down in that basement too. More deterioration, falling down where water's gotten in. More brickwork gone here, more support. It's just another picture of old stairwell to get in, or stairway to get down in there. And behind the stairway is just more brickwork that's gone. It's laying on the ground in piles. And this is an open, this isn't a ceiling. I think this is when you walk in, you go up and to the right. Back in that area. There's a hole right there that just goes, and there's no insulation up there. And you're heating the space down below. So that needs to get, at least, in my view, some kind of a separation there. New drywall put up there, just to stop that heat loss. And this is the old pump. This is the old, the well pump used to sit on top of here. This is the motor that ran it. Not the motor, but it's the base for it, the cement base. So you're looking down at this stuff here. Right. So if you ever go in there, you'll understand what this is. But that's where the old pump was. So this one here, this is just more, there's a bathroom in there, but it's far from being ADA compliant. A big issue, and then we're back to the beginning. This doesn't really take an effect, anything that I told you here, it doesn't take an effect that if 50% of the buildings, let's see, the value, if it's over 50% of the value, then it's got to come up to code, to today's code. And it wouldn't have mattered if we were still in the 15 or 21, or 2006 here, sorry. It's a monumental oversight. It's going to take $150,000, I'll bet you, for that building to bring it up, because there's no insulation in there. I mean, the windows, they're single glazed windows, they got to be updated. ADA is a big one, right? That's your most expensive one. There's nothing in that building that's ADA compliant. Bathrooms, even that 3 or 4 step to get up, that's all got to have a chairlift put in, become ADA compliant.
What about the foundation? I mean, how much money is it really gonna, do you think it's?
So to fix the foundation, well, I'm not piecemealing it. That's a general thing. But the foundation, to stop it from moving, you got to dig down. There's a couple, obviously, ways. You dig down, tear it all out, put all new. They've also got these screw jacks that go down along the foundation that they can actually screw down below it, get this foot rise on it, and it goes up underneath of it, and it'll pull it. But that's a professional, not me, to do that kind of work, you know what I mean? So the other thing is, none of this work can be volunteer. All right, because it's a municipal building. So there again, I know I'd love to work on that building for you, but I can't. I mean, it's all got to be contracted out, and I don't hold that insurance policy. So, so the foundation is a big one. That's where you start at, right? Got to get that solid. Then you can work on the stuff up above. So,
Okay.
any questions? I mean, I don't know.
Well,
how you
we'll
want-
wait till Gina finishes and then we'll ask
Oh,
questions,
very
okay?
good.
Okay, Gina? Thanks for coming.
Nice to meet everyone. I'm usually in a different meeting tonight, which is why I don't come to these meetings. So just gonna talk real quickly on historic preservation. Won't bore you with all the minute details, I'll leave that to the attorneys. But there's 2 different kinds of landmarks. There's local and national. So I'm gonna talk about local first. To be a local landmark, the village would have to adopt an ordinance creating a historic preservation commission. Then they would have to seat that commission. Within that ordinance would be their parameters, their authority, their makeup, what constitutes a certificate of appropriateness, what are the requirements to qualify as a landmark, stuff like that. Then the commission would meet. If someone wants to be a landmark, they would apply to the commission. Does it meet the requirements? And usually it's, was there someone super significant that lived in there? Is enough of the original architecture remaining? For instance, was there a giant porch that was removed? Or did they put vinyl siding over the wood siding? Stuff like that. Or did a significant event happen in that building? Things like that are typically the requirements. Then if the commission feels it qualifies, then they would put forward an ordinance to the village, and the board would then adopt the ordinance. So again, to do a local landmark, one ordinance creating a commission and the parameters of that commission. Then the commission would meet. If someone wants to apply to the commission, they would just recommend, and the board would have to then by ordinance adopt the local landmark. So it is quite a process, just creating the ordinance and creating the commission and seating it and whatnot. It can take some time. Also, one of the biggest factors is, does the property owner themselves approve of this? I've never heard of a municipality approving a landmark if the property owner objected to it. So, for instance, this specific building, the village owns. So does the village board want it to be landmarked? Because you would give that same respect to maybe someone trying to landmark their neighbor's house that doesn't want it. For instance, a lot of people want to landmark churches. Churches don't want to be landmarked. They feel then it tells them what they can and cannot do, you know. So that's always a big struggle. Residents want churches landmarked. Churches say no, it doesn't get landmarked. So within a local landmark, you can then do certificates of appropriateness saying, for instance, for Belvedere's. If someone wants to do, we don't regulate paint colors. In the suburbs, it's very common to regulate paint colors. Oh, you want to talk about getting in the weeds. What constitutes navy blue? You know, stuff like that. But if someone wants to go from an asphalt roof to a metal roof, that needs to go before the commission for a certificate of appropriateness. If you're going like for like, it's fine. If you're changing something, taking off a porch, changing the shape of windows, stuff like that. And then demolition is allowed, but there's usually factors where you can stop a demolition. For instance, maybe you make them put it on the market for at least 2 months to try to find a buyer first. Or you can see if you can change it to like a commercial zoning or something. Like usually you try to do what you can, but ultimately you can't stop a demolition. So that's local. National, you would petition to the state. It's weird because it's the National Registry, but the state handles it. National Registry actually does not have any authority on what you do with your building. You can change the colors, you can change the materials, you can take off porches. The only time, and it does nothing to protect demolition or alterations. The only time National Registry landmark standards come into play is if you're using federal money. Then they have a whole slew of things you have to adhere to because you're using their money. So fair enough. So those are the two different landmark statuses. And again, they want the property owner to be on board as well. Those are the two with the two differences. People usually think national gives you a higher level of protection. It doesn't. Local does. To get funding on local landmark, because that's a lot of times people landmark it because they want that funding. The village would have to become a certified local government. To be a certified local government, you have to enact a historic preservation ordinance and enforce state and local preservation laws. That's kind of what I recapped earlier. Maintain an adequate and qualified historic preservation review commission. Maintain a system for the survey and inventory of historic properties, and provide for public participation in the local historic preservation program. So you have to have an active commission. You can't just have a commission on paper. It has to be active. It has to be doing surveys. It has to be doing grant work. And then with those grants, unfortunately, for instance, the village would not qualify for them. Almost all the grants, like the state has a tax credit that you can put on top of the federal tax credit. And there's property tax freezes and stuff like that, but they're all tax-based incentives. So the only ones that qualify are income-producing properties. So single-family residences don't qualify other than the property tax freeze. Everything else has to be income producing, so multifamily or commercial. Village isn't income producing and village doesn't pay taxes. That's why in Belvedere, like the library was looking at landmarking the library because it's the Carnegie Library, the Funderburg House, and the Baltic Mill, but it wouldn't open up any kind of funding for them because they're all government non-tax paying entities. So unfortunately, if you would landmark a village property, you get the status of saying it's a landmark, but it doesn't give you any kind of financial benefits. Also, if you try to go national, again, kind of like what Craig alluded to, they're gonna look at is enough of the remaining structure still there. Belvedere tried landmarking the Leaf Building several times before we unfortunately had to demo it when the roof caved in. And we were denied every time because not enough of the original structure was still there. So even though the portion that was there was historic and whatnot, it wasn't enough of the original. So the fact that this isn't the full original, that would definitely have an impact on the federal level. So those are preservation things in a nutshell.
Okay, all right, thanks. Anybody have any, I'm gonna start with Glenn.
I have two questions. And this is to anyone who might have insights. Is there any architectural significance to the building? Is there any historic significance to the building?
I would have to do research. When was it originally built? Every single use that was in there, stuff like that. And architecturally wise, I would probably default to Darius at the state for his assistance, to be honest.
The little history I know about it was the original water tower for the town was there. That was built in 1900. This building followed roughly 20 years later in 1920. It was the first village hall. I believe the fire department ran out of it at one time. I believe it was the old police station possibly.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's been here since about 1920.
And all those bricks were made right here in Capron too, that
With
built
the
that
tile
building.
factory that was on Wooster, I
It
believe.
was my house.
Linda?
Is it, like, what do you do if you decide, say, like, if the building we feel is unsalvageable, you can't say salvage anything, but if you wanted to make this, like, part of it still like a landmark, do you still have to get the board and everything up together just to regulate and say that,
Like demo everything but leave the well?
where they have this already encased, but you could put like a plaque on it saying what it was and when it was brought?
So if the village, and again, I'm not gonna speak on architectural
No.
significance, I'm just
Right.
landmark, options of landmarking and stuff like that. There's a lot of places that have landmarks that are not true ordinance adopted landmarks.
Okay.
Where you have to have the commission. You can just have memorials in the village. I mean, by all means, you could, as long as it's structurally sound and whatnot, and you want a memorial plaque, that can easily be done without it being a truly defined historic landmark. Because, yeah, creating the commission, it's a lot because it has to remain an active commission. So
Right.
yes, you, by all means, can
If you wanted to
do
find things,
memorials and
yeah.
documents and highlights without it being a legally defined landmark.
That's sweet. Or,
Additional question then, and maybe Craig, you can answer this. The platform for the pump and for the wellhead, where is that in relation to the surface grade? Is it below grade?
It is below grade.
So it's not something you could take a building around it
No,
off,
I would.
then it would be down in a hole?
I would try to, and I don't know if that's gonna be able to get pulled out of there, but you would cut that out, pull that up.
But then it's not in the original location and you're degrading its historical significance, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a landmark. You know, you could still pull it up and support it right there, and then put a memorial there. And I'll be honest with you, I would love to see some kind of a plaque there, no matter if you keep it or
Especially
not keep it.
because like you were mentioning the bricks and stuff, I'm just thinking, you know, since they were made here in Capron, I'm
Yeah, I
sure
mean,
people
all that
would like
stuff
to
can
have
be-
some of that.
Yep.
Yep, and you can, and I don't want to speak out of turn because
No,
I'm going to admit
no.
I did not walk through the building. I know, for instance, we did save in Belvedere when the Leaf Building came down because that was such a significant, the Leaf Building was part of the National Sewing Machine Company. So that was a very significant part of Belfair's history. And it was very hard when that building came down, but when the roof came and took the 4th floor with it, there was really no saving at that point. And we kept a lot of the big limestone foundation blocks. So next year, when one of our downtown parking lots get redone, there's gonna be a really nice path down to the river with a canoe launch and a fishing pier. That whole path is going to be constructed out of the limestone foundation blocks that we saved from the Leaf building. So by all means, a building that's not structurally sound, safe for the public, whatever is determined, does not mean you cannot keep parts of it and reuse it.
Exactly.
Give bricks away, repurpose bricks, maybe turn it into part of the memorial, you know, if you can save enough of them, and make the brick foundation for mural, or maybe a couple nice benches that people can sit down and add it to the park-like setting, or what have you. You can definitely I am of the firm, this is my personal belief, not Gina, preservation person. There's so much stuff in landfills, you know, so by all means, if you can salvage, if you can repurpose, do what you can, and then you're also keeping that part of the history.
Because we have to also figure, if we're gonna put all this money into it, and it's just gonna sit there again, what do we
That's
want
the
it
other
to be
thing, what
used
are-
for, you know?
What would be, because if it's, anything that sits empty deteriorates faster than something getting used. So if it's not gonna be used, that is all very, very hard decisions. for
And
the
I know
board to
that
make,
freestyle thing, I can see even at my house, because I can see where my front stairs have dropped,
Yeah.
you know, since it was built, and it was not even this old, so.
And if, unfortunately, if the village could qualify for all the tax incentives and stuff like that, it would be, I'm sure, a much easier decision, but.
Alyssa? Kim?
So Craig, it sounds like there's a lot of like water issues maybe with the building,
At one time, it's been dry down there for a long time.
but a lot of the issues could have been caused from water issues?
I don't know, it's definitely from the foundation moving. So that means it either wasn't, maybe it wasn't placed on
Right.
undisturbed soil like it's supposed to have been back in the day. There's a foundation there, there's a footing there. But it's definitely on softer ground. And again, did it take 20 years for that to move? That half, 3/4 of an inch? I don't know. But it's moved before, and they fixed it, and now it's moved exactly about the same amount again, since that fix.
Hold
So,
on just a second.
Nothing
I got
stopping.
some questions too, okay?
Okay, but Kim's not done yet.
Okay.
so when I understand this, you know, if we were to put the money into the building, it had to be contracted out with bids. Can those contractors not donate, let's say we need concrete work, can they not have a company like donate the concrete? Is that against the,
That would be something for.
I mean,
Yeah,
You-
that's not.
You know, they're gonna have to charge prevailing wage.
well, I understand that, you know,
So,
but I mean, there
I
are
mean-
companies that, you know, also believe in restoring and help restoring these old buildings. Like, I can use like Ozinga for an example. I
Yeah, I
bet you,
mean,
you know, we
yeah.
could get Ozinga to
You can
donate
find somebody
concrete.
that's willing to do that, as long as they're paying their workers prevailing wage.
And then, like, again, we have to decide what is the building gonna be used for, because do we have to make it for handicap accessible or
Yeah,
not?
ADA is-
And I understand that too, and I honestly feel it should go back to the residents for some kind of, do the residents want to put their taxpayer money
Oh, no,
into
absolutely.
that?
Oh,
I
yeah,
want you
they
guys,
have to
all
say,
I
that's why we
wanted-
wanna know all the
Yeah, we're not
options.
I want you guys to have
Right.
the facts as we know them, okay? And yeah, I would love to. I want to go knock on everybody's door and say, do you want to do this or not? This is going to be a tremendous amount of money, okay? Now, I got some questions for Gina. If they do form this preservation committee, I mean, it's basically an arm of the Capron government. So they've got to follow FOIA and Open Meetings Act and the whole 9 yards, just like we do here.
Correct. It is
So
a-
all their
it is-
meetings are gonna have to be open to the public. They gotta have an open book as far as finances go, et cetera, okay?
It's funded through your general fund. It's
Okay.
a subcommittee of the village board,
Okay,
basically.
and if we do happen to get this turned into a historical landmark of some sort, any work that's gotta be done to it, we're gonna have to have an architect, we're gonna have to have a structural engineer.
Correct, it does not exempt you from meeting building codes.
Right.
Building, fire, electrical,
Right.
plumbing, all those codes.
So all that's an added expense also, okay, so We're talking, I know Craig gave an estimate of like $150,000. I think that's pretty conservative if you want to know the truth.
And I'm never one to throw it too high.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. But if we have to redo all the plumbing, all the electrical, all the
Yeah,
HVAC, the foundation work, those are plaster walls, they're not drywall. You don't know if you're gonna find asbestos in that building or mold or anything else that goes on in there. It's gonna take a real hard look at how much money we're gonna spend on this and ultimately what it's gonna be used for, because if it's gonna be another building that we fix and it sits there for 30 years with nobody using it, you're right back to square one and we wasted all that money. I kinda like what Gina had to say as far as if we can salvage material from this building and build a memorial to that building. I was told that at one time, that area used to have a World War I and World War II Veterans Memorial there. We could use the bricks to do that. And I don't think it would cost us near as much money as it is gonna rehab a building that we don't really know what we're gonna do with. I talked to you about the possibility of turning it into a museum, and you told me a little bit about what's going on with the museum in Belvedere.
Yes, so the Boone County Museum is actually a taxing body. So residents of Capron pay taxes to the Boone County Museum. So there's already a countywide museum, and museums are hard. Museums are expensive. Artifacts, the insurance alone of all the artifacts is quite high. Vandalism, unfortunately there's been theft from people walking through the museum, issues like that, and it is quite difficult to keep the building maintained, the parking lot maintained, staffed, and all the exhibits and the insurance and everything goes with it. It is quite the undertaking for the museum that is already in the county.
Okay. Now, you had a question?
My name is Gene Ellinger, and I lived in this town for better than 65 years. And I was instrumental in getting the grant for the water tower and the well you have up there. And it's kind of amazing because at that time, the well that's in there now was an excellent well. And I'll tell you why it was excellent. In 1945, they had to repair the pump. And an older gentleman that I knew was around then, and he knew the well and he knew all about the pump. Fast forward to 1985, the pump was needing repair. I was asked by the village, I was on the village board for 12 years, but I was off at that time. And they asked me if I had any ideas for information, because Lane Western is the only company that's big enough to handle municipal well drilling in this area. They do it in the Midwest. They were there, and I went and got this old gentleman, and he said, yeah, I can tell you what's there for the motor and the pump. And he said the water level in the standpipe is 47 feet down. They pulled the motor and checked it, and it was still 40 years later, 47 feet down. The well was excellent water. But here's my point. When we got the new water tower, because how many wells do you have now?
We have two operating.
Two. Well, that's good, because in '85, when it went down, I was in charge of getting water for the town for a week because there was no other water supply. And I got it from Dean Foods in Chemung, and Bonkowski's stainless steel trucks trucked it over for a week.
Okay.
It was, free of charge.
That was
And
nice.
it was a major job.
Yeah.
But the deal was, when the new water tower went up, they were supposed to hook the pumps together from the well in this old building because the water was excellent. That was the design, and somebody, I don't know where, I was not involved, and the plumbing evidently didn't get connected, and the deal was, run the one at the water tower for a month, hit the levers, run the well that's in the old building. And they had a backup, good water supply. And that's the only reason I'm here tonight, but you wonder about the water tower itself, why it was taken down. I've got 44 pictures as it gradually hit the ground. And the water tank itself was made out of cedar, and it got so bad that the roof leaked. There was a roof. The pigeons got in there and rusted on the water top of the water tower tank. And then it got to where the meter that would shut the water off didn't work, and it froze in the wintertime, and it was always iced up, so they had to put fence around it, because the icicles would come down and kill people.
That's what I remember.
So they debated whether to make it a national treasure too, because this is a fact. During the 30s and early 40s, navigation for airplanes was not good. The mail plane from Chicago did use that beacon on that roof to go to the Twin Cities, and as a kid, I used to watch that mail train come over at nights, because we all knew when it was coming. It was a big deal back in the early 40s. So, but that's the only reason I'm here, is to let you know why they took the tower down, because there was talk of making it a landmark. But in 89, something like that, they got a figure on it, and it was over $150,000 to, so they hired an outfit, which I've got all these pictures that shows how they,
Can I see those?
That's cool.
how they took it down. It was quite a, it took them probably about a week, but they brought it down to, I went up about 3 times a day and took pictures of it, just,
Okay,
it was amazing.
thank you.
So that's the only reason but that well in there was an excellent well.
Well, we're using the same water now, it's the same aquifer,
Yeah,
okay?
if you need it, you know, it was always there. And here's why I say, this was a bigger reason why I was here. I live in Cherry Valley. 3 years ago, they let a contract to Lane Western to drill them their 5th well. The price for just to drill the well.
Yeah.
Not the pump, $5 million.
Yep. It's amazing.
So if you need a,
That's why I thought if we
So if
could
you
save
need
that
a
part of it and leave
well,
it there, that's a good thing
maybe
to have.
you want to keep that
Well, that
option
one's all plugged up
open.
with concrete now, so,
Is it?
It is
yeah,
all
it's all
filled in?
plugged up with concrete, yes
They
it
did
is.
pour concrete on it.
Yep.
I was
That
gonna
was
say, yeah.
sad.
Mayor's going through new wells now because our wells that were in town, like
Thank
this
you.
one,
Yep.
has contaminations, which is
Thank you.
standard. And the price is ridiculous, so if the well was good before it closed, that's something that if the village doesn't move forward with preserving, see if you can sell for parts, because there's a lot of towns that need to fix their old wells that
Yeah,
don't
the
have
well
the parts, like that's a
Excellent water. We
salvageable.
had no
Okay.
problem with any tests.
And I remember your story, because I remember Russ Main telling me that story too, about how those two were supposed to be linked
Yeah.
together.
Okay,
They were
ma'am,
supposed to be connected.
go ahead.
I'm just wondering, how much are we, so far, are we spending on the playground? Because my thing is, I go around town and I see online, I hear more about people wanting to keep this building up more than they want a playground.
Well, you're not talking to the kids, are you? Right, I think, I mean, personally, my opinion, we'd be better served if we had a playground for the kids in this town than we would spending the kind of money that we're gonna have to spend to
But the
preserve
thing
that
is, you
building.
want to put in
That's right.
$100,000 playground when, to me, a couple swings and a slide's sufficient.
Well,
But we
that's,
can see what that's gonna do, where the building, if we do it, we still are in the position, what do we wanna use it for? We gotta have a purpose for it to keep it.
yeah.
All right.
I mean, I'm not saying. to
Look, at
get
if
rid
we
of
could
it,
turn
I'm
that
saying
into
we just
something
need it to be
that
something.
would be used, that would be viable, that we need,
That
I'm
has a
all for
purpose.
it. But that building in its current condition is in bad shape, and it's in the current configuration because of what it was built for. It's gonna be really difficult to turn it into something that's useful for the public, okay? It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, I understand the concept of a historical museum for the village of Capron, but this is the village of Capron. This is a drive-through community,
And that's
okay?
why I'm wondering why we're spending $100,000 on a playground too.
Because we've got kids in town that need something to do.
A playground that's for 45 kids at a time?
We have how many hundreds of kids in this town?
There is asbestos in it too.
I mean, just look at Halloween and all the kids that come around for Halloween.
And we're trying to think of, at least on this time, it would be on the south side of town, so kids aren't having to, like the school and the Lions Park are all on
But I
our
don't
side.
wanna,
We don't
I
want to
don't
cross the
wanna,
streets.
I don't wanna mull the what I had, what I wanted, is I wanted Craig and Gina to come to give you guys the facts of what we're talking about, all right? And I really appreciate you guys
Yes.
coming.
I appreciate
You've
it.
asked your questions, you got all the facts that I can get you.
It's all on you, your
All right.
legacy. That's all I gotta
So,
say.
we're not making any decisions
No,
tonight,
we
this
just-
isn't gonna be done overnight, we're gonna talk about this again in January. I just wanted you all to have the opportunity to listen to what I consider our experts on the subject and get their position on this and some semblance of an idea of what it's gonna take to fix this building if that's what we decide to do, okay? And we're gonna
Come
talk
forward with
about it,
ideas
okay?
for us, I mean, that would be, we're welcoming ideas. That would be something we would want to know what
We
it
could
can
open
use
it up
for.
for tours during the food truck and Christmas and Capron. There's times where we could open it up. It doesn't always have to be open.
Yeah, but is it worth a couple of $100,000 to do that?
Because look at how many buildings we have sitting empty right now that aren't doing anything.
That's the whole point. If it was $25,000 or $30,000, I'd be on it in a heartbeat.
Again, I think you gotta bring it back to the residents and the taxpayers.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, bring it back to
What
the
they can
taxpayers.
tell us what they want to do.
So we'll let the village decide this. We're gonna figure out,
Fix it.
some way to communicate to these people and get an answer from them. If, like I said, if we've gotta take some of us and go knock on the doors and write down their answers, then that's what we're gonna do. But just my sitting here, my opinion, I'm giving you my
Well, one thing
opinion.
is the board's opinion.
Well, this is my opinion, right? Everybody on this board has their own opinion, and I let them express that opinion, okay? And we will talk about this. I just wanted tonight to get this because we needed to get this, yes.
I think, in my opinion, what we need to look at first is what Linda said. What are we gonna do with the building?
Right.
Yeah, because if we can find a purpose for it, then everybody can get behind it, but we
And
don't want to fix it and just leave it sit
And I
there.
don't, and, you know, not even looking at the cost of it, even though that has to be.
But if
part
there's
of
a
the discussion.
legitimate job for
What
it,
are we gonna do with the building?
Right.
And it's small, it's not big. We asked at one time, there was some interest in a library if we fixed it. We didn't get a whole lot of interest when we sent out postcards on water bills or whatever, and we didn't get a whole lot of yeses back.
We still voted for it.
Wasn't it?
Continue.
And I think we really need to think real hard what we're gonna use this building for.
Yeah. And I do. I think we need to do some sort of controlled poll, not something that we put on Facebook that anybody in the world can
well,
get.
could we have like a box out, like, you know, Santa had letters and stuff, is that where people could drop off their opinions of, you know, ideas of what they want.
They're free to drop them off in the Dropbox.
We'll figure out something,
Where
okay?
you drop your water bill.
We got,
Yeah,
Sandy, you got something?
yeah.
Is there any way this could be put on a ballot?
There you go.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we
I
can put it
agree.
on the ballot. Okay, that's a good
That's a
idea. We
good
can put a
idea.
referendum on the ballot. I'll talk to, we'll talk to the election, I'll talk to the county clerk and see what we
That's a
can do,
very good
okay?
idea.
All right. We may have to do a petition to do that, but I'll do it, okay? If I gotta get so many signatures, we'll do that. Thank you.
Yeah,
That was an
that would be
excellent
good.
idea, okay? All right. All right, so moving on. That's what I wanted to do tonight. Thank you guys for coming, okay?
Appreciate it.
Next, I just wanted to do, we got a USDA compliance report for ADA requirements in this building, and I filled it out, and I just wanted you guys to have a copy of it. We gotta send it in, so, it's not something that says you have to do anything, it's just a survey of where we're at. It's a self-evaluation of ADA compliance. Like, how much space is between the two doors in the front of the building and stuff like
And
that.
that's this building we're in right now.
Yeah, how high is the toilet from the floor and all that good stuff, so.
Okay.
I just wanted you to know about that, okay?
All right.
All right. Next, trustee McMahon, you got the financial report.
Well, I got something before the financial report.
Okay,
Please, can we have it quiet still, please?
I'm not sure if everybody's aware, but Bob Drace passed away today. Bob Drace was on the Capron Rescue Squad for at least 25 years. He's did a lot of community events, especially in the town of Capron. He was also on District 3 for like 5 years. He ran on Superior Ambulance for like 13, 14 years, something like that. And he was also an Army veteran for like 27 years. But
Wow.
Bob and Liz were very involved in the community with the rescue squad and everything. And I just want to put it out there, let everybody know that maybe keep their family in prayers. He passed away, today on that.
Sorry, that's,
Very well known, if you're
Before-
from the area, you
Yeah.
know who Bob and Liz are.
Before you do the financial report, I forgot something. I got an answer from the church, and the answer is no, they don't want to. They don't want to lease the land to us, they don't want to sell the property to us, so we're back to my original location, and I really would like you guys to come and look at it with me so we can
Yeah, it's,
evaluate it a little better, okay? So we'll make it, we don't have to do that now, we're not putting up a playground in January, so
yeah.
we'll take a look at that.
there's no
with this.
rush, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so our general fund, we have $1,473,282.51. The MFT fund is $188,785.87. The water fund is $489,921.78. Administrative revenue is $388,119.31. Our budget is $570,600, and we've used 68% of our budget.
Yeah,
Elected-
so we've taken in 68%, yeah.
Elected officials, total expense is $37,208.97. The budget is $49,800. We're at 74%. Administrative expense is $131,157.97. The budget is $225,800. We're at 53%. Public Works expense, $53,473.87. The budget is $137,600. We're at 38, almost 39%. MFT revenue is $39,03.73. The budget is $62,500. We're at 62%. And then expense, there's no expense. The budget is $50,000, so we're at 0%. Water and sewer revenue is $392,082.01. Budget is $673,300. We're at 58%. Water expense, $361,646.53. Budget is $240. We're at 150%. And then sewer expense is $227,532.29. Budget is $302. We're at 75%.
Okay. And I would like to add that this is for the fiscal year through November, which represents 7 months, which is 58% of the fiscal year. So any income above 58% is good, and any expense below 58% is, above 58% is bad. And we know about the water and sewer, and we're going to reconcile that at sometime in February, so it all balances out again.
When does our fiscal year end?
Pardon?
When does our fiscal year?
April 30th.
Oh, yeah, April 30th, okay.
Okay.
And then I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, safe travels, enjoy
Yeah.
your time with your family, and
Okay.
good luck.
Okay, trustee Lacewell? Nothing? Trustee Agee?
Merry Christmas and
Merry
happy holiday,
Christmas.
everybody.
Trustee Wolfart?
Same for me. Merry Christmas to everyone.
Okay. And trustee Pinal?
I'll agree with all that, but I also have a water report. A few weeks ago, we had a run of cold weather and everything ran smoothly, no problems. Secondly, a new waste pump flow meter is needed for SRB2 at the wastewater treatment plant. Number 3, the quarterly maintenance has been completed on all the blowers at the wastewater treatment plant. All new belts and oil have been installed. And finally, iron levels are being monitored and tested weekly at well 2. They have shown no signs of elevated levels, and the village will retest quarterly next year per EPA required sampling schedule.
Okay.
Do we have any idea of how expensive the waste pump flow meter will cost?
Jason hasn't come to me with that yet.
Okay, just
so
curious.
I'll let you all know what that's gonna cost. I know it's not gonna be cheap.
No,
Probably gonna be
right.
$5,000 or $10,000, just like everything else does, okay?
Yeah.
But I'll let you all know as soon as he talks to me. And I got the same. I wanna wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. safe travels if anybody's going anywhere, and I hope next year is healthy and prosperous for everybody, and I hope it's a good year for the village of Capron too, okay? Anybody have anything else?
No,
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Mom.